morning. I'm happy to share with you what journey we have started at COSUCRA and what use of digitalization we are planning to implement. But let's first give you a few words about COSUCRA. COSUCRA is a Belgian-based small company of 400 people. We processing product from the agriculture. So the idea is that we process two main crop. One is chicory, one is yellow pea, and we will extract from those crops the main components to produce a healthy ingredient. I will give you some explain about that. So the idea is, of course, offering a new ingredient for the consumer that are both sustainable and healthy. First product we process is yellow pea. Yellow pea is a source of protein, is a pulse. So what's characteristic, what's the key feature of a pulse is that you don't use fertilizer. So you can have a protein with a very low CO2 footprint. Yellow pea can be sourced around all around Europe. The second crops is chicory root, and I will come back later on the shape. Chicory root is a crop in between the size of a carrot and the size of a sugar beet, and I will come back on that. You will see what's the importance of that. So from the chicory we extract the inulin, which is a dietary fiber. This dietary fiber will be used in many products to improve the gut health, to reduce sugar, and so on. So health for the consumer. The idea with our ingredient is to offer product that will do something better for the food we are used to have. So, for example, we will add inulin to a cereal bar to reduce sugar. We will add vegetable protein to a plant-based beverage to reach the same level of protein as we have in a dairy product. Of course, to achieve, as I mentioned, in a mid-size or even in a small-size company of 400 people, it's very important when we think about digitalization that we keep in mind that we have to get the people involved in the process. So we before that, you need to train them, to explain them what will be the consequence of this digitalization, and therefore it's very important that you get the commitment and the involvement of the people. Otherwise, you will be in a continuous fight between your workers that are scared about the consequences, and of course, you can imagine they're thinking about the social consequences of such an evolution. In our company, especially, we want to be a game changer as far as our relationship with the planet, and more specifically, we want to reduce as much as possible the footprint of our ingredients to be able to offer a new product that will reduce the impact of the food in on the CO2 footprint of the planet. Therefore, we have taken seven commitments. I won't go through those commitments, but I think it's important. I just want to mention two of those. The first one is sustainable agriculture. So it's a new way to sow and to conduct a crop growing during the season that will help to increase the carbon content of the soil. So by adapting your methodology, you will ensure that more carbon will stay in the soil, and then you will capture this and keep this carbon in the soil instead of having more CO2. Second point, of course, is as any industry, we have to fight for a huge reduction of footprint, and our target is to reduce by 50% between now and 2030. So I will now explain you how we will go through and try to implement this strategy with the help of digitalization. Of course, you see that this is a lot about innovation. I will go a bit faster about the company. I think you have understand the main categories we are in. Let's now start about the knowledge management. In a small company, so when we are a company having a very strong growth the last 20 years. So we started from 100 or less than 100 people company to 400. So there is a huge need to organize the knowledge. And of course, when you start with very small, knowledge is mainly in the head of the people, in their own Excel sheet or whatever. So the challenge will first be to discover what we know, where is the info. Then capture this info, find a way to make it available, and to make it available, you of course need to organize it so that people can have access to it. And of course, before giving this access, you need to check and to verify the quality of those data. And this is, of course, very important before you deploy such a structure. So if I can compare to the knowledge pyramid, I would say that what we all have, what any company has, is data. And the challenge is, how can we move from data to information? So data to information means that those data have been treated, have been organized, and you can have info based on that. The next step, and that's what we are willing to implement with digitalization, is knowledge. Knowledge is the fact that the information is organized, the information is available, but also people know how they can access to this information. Even in small company, there is a lot of software. So I was astonished when we did the mapping. I was still dreaming about the two software in one company, one ERP and one Microsoft series. Well, in fact, that's not the case. And you're very surprised how many software we have. And most of them are not transversal, and there is a lot of issue in connecting them together. So the big challenge for us, and okay, this is not an advertising for a specific brand, but just to show you what will be the challenge. The first challenge is, of course, to make this data lake, like we say, and to organize this information and to ensure that all those software from any kind will be able to work together. And more, I would say, one of the key feature or one of the key objective is trying to have direct interaction and direct connection between the software, avoiding double typing and so on and so on. If you look at those are different projects. Just to give you an example, but how important those projects can be and how high the ROI can be. And so the return on investment is more than 40% for those projects, just by bringing software communicating with each other. And that's so significant that I think we decided to start with this, which is, I would say, really the basic. It's even before the digitalization, but I think it's very important to see that there is a lot of hidden costs in a company, and you cannot imagine how big they are. And I'm very happy to have this 42 ROI. I can say this is not. This is not very often that we have investment that are so profitable. Let's now move to the next step, which is I would say the real digitalization ideas in my mind, and those are the use of artificial intelligence. Therefore, we used very standard methods, and we use processes that have been used across the industry. You're probably very familiar with those systems. So the basic idea is to take data. We have a lot of data, to take those data from, for example, our plant, and I will come back to that in my next slide. Prepare those data and transfer those data to the model that will try to simulate and to the real process with the data and try to find correlation. And then going back to the real life and see how we can use that. Let's now have a look more in detail in a process of like we have where let's say we would process P. We have process parameters, and the ingredient we're producing is a protein isolate. What is important for such an ingredient are, for example, purity, how much protein in your isolate, functional property. Is it soluble enough? Is it viscous enough, depending on the application? And the yield, which is, of course, the amount of valuable ingredient you get from a raw material. Those processes are fully automated. We have 4,000 I/O in our system, taking data every millisecond. So in fact, we have a huge amount of data. And finally, we don't do that much with it. And the idea would be to have this model helping us in finding correlation. The challenge with those amount of data, even if you have very smart process engineer, it's just going beyond what a human can handle as far as volume of data is concerned. So we need those AI model to formulate, I would say, hypothesis that the process engineer will be able to verify, to validate, and to implement. So this is, of course, as you can imagine, extremely profitable again, because you're touching the core of your business, and it's really the most important cost driver of our business. Another use of artificial intelligence I want to share with you today are the chicory breeding. So as I explained you, chicory is a root. In the past, it has a carrot shape, and due to breeding, so by improving the seeds, we have changed the shape of these roots towards something more similar to a sugar beet. Why? Well, you can imagine we're working in a very automated agriculture. It's good to have a good yield of crop in the field, but it's much better that you can bring it back to the plant. So by having those conical shape of roots, you get it's much easier to collect, and you don't lose the tip of your root. Those selections, so the breeding process, is made by people we name breeders. So they are real specialists, being able to analyze shape of the roots and to qualify those roots. So they will qualify the shape, but they will also see if there is crack. When there is crack, you can have mud in it. When there is, you can also have rotting process starting in, and so you can have, based on visual evaluation, you can qualify the quality of the root. On the other hand, you are running every year trials in a small field, and you will measure a lot of characteristics of those roots, like the yield, so how many roots per hectare, but also the content of inulin and so on. This we're doing for more than 2 decades. The challenge for that is that you need extremely experienced people, so breeders are, as you can make 1 trial a year, okay, you become a good breeder after 5 to 10 years. So it's not easy to have an experienced one, and you don't have so many in a company. So that's the first point. You rely on a very limited number of skilled people, and secondly, it's huge time consuming. Every time, every route you see, you have to check it on every route has been will be qualified and from every side, on upside, downside, and so on. So the first idea with AI is to say, okay, let's take all those pictures we have from not only from this year but from the last 20 years, and let's make a model between the qualification of the breeders and the picture, and see from the next campaign, can we correlate that, and can we validate the model afterwards, so that we can save a lot of time. And there is it's always going 2 ways. Huh? Either you save a lot of time, or you can do much more with the same people, so you can do much more trial. But the next step is even more interesting, and it's the question to know: can we correlate those visual observation, those image analysis, with what we have on the field? Can we make a link between one route and the result we have on the field? And that will, of course, be very attractive, because it will then be possible to have very, very small trials. When you think about very small trial, that means on a given surface with a given time frame, you can do much more trial. So that's the second application of artificial intelligence. Now I would like to come to the last topic of my presentation, which is about revenue stream. In all our business, we are offering a lot of service to our customer. So we're selling ingredient, of course, but we're developing recipes with our ingredient. We also offering regulation support and nutritional support. But we're always facing difficulties to monetize this support. So that means the only revenue we get is from the product we sell, and all the service are for free. And so the challenge of offering new service where we can have a value for, so that means something we can charge, is very important for us. And we believe we have here some opportunity to offer service that nobody else can offer. And then, of course, you can get a value. That's very different to other service, like I mentioned, regulatory support. Well, we're giving this support to the customer, but okay, the competition is also doing it, and there is always the risk that the customer take the advice and then buy the ingredient to the competition. So the idea is, what could we do based on the fact we would have the data lake I mentioned previously? What could we build as knowledge that would be able to give us additional revenue streams for the company? And I will share with you one example, coming back to the work we're doing. So I hope I was clear enough when I described. So we not only developing seeds, but we selling the seeds to our farmer and also to the competitors. So all other inulin manufacturers are running on COSUCRA seeds. And those seeds, of course, we sell them to the farmer. They will sow it. And we will, at the end of the season, so in north of, in our region, we're sowing in May. We're collecting the roots between September and December, a bit like the sugar beet, and we refine the inulin in the same time. What's typical of COSUCRA is that we have the information from 1 to 7 on each step of the value. So we have the R&D data about the seeds. We have all info about field procedure. We have the GPS. We have, based on the GPS, we have all information about climate. We have previous crops, type of treatment, and so on and so on. And of course, we also have the output because we buy the product and we know precisely. So the idea would be, well, we have all the info to build a model that will help farmer, that will help other company like pesticide producer to optimize their product or to have a better to be able to run better the crop growing time, and by offering that, we should be in a position where, as we are the only one having both the seeds and the final ingredient, we would be able to charge the customer. So that's the model we're working on that, and I hope I'll be able to come with good news within 2 years that we would be able to offer something new to the market. So just in a nutshell, the conclusion from this digitalization journey, I would say. First of all, basically, it's a huge opportunity of savings. So I think for me, it's very important to keep in mind that the first revenue you can get are insight, and so those are reducing the hidden cost. The next point is, of course, the opportunity to bring new revenue streams. If you are able to build a knowledge that nobody else has, and of course the improvement possibilities that the AI is offering, and the fact that by those tools you are able to have a much steeper learning curve than what traditional way of optimization are doing. Thank you for your attention.